Jaelah's prayer, part 1. Hello friends, today we are doing a Today we are doing a highly requested video, okay? This is part 1 of Jaelah's prayer. There are gonna be 2 parts to this video. So this is part 1, all the things that you really don't wanna hear, but baby, you gotta hear it, okay? And part 2 is gonna be all the juicy stuff, okay? You know what I'm saying? All the juicy stuff is we're actually gonna talk about, you know what I'm saying, actually dating. But first, it starts with us. So first things first, I wanna thank BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy service. It is 100% online. With BetterHelp, you can tap into a network of over 30,000 licensed therapists that specialize in a wide range of issues. So first things first, you're gonna fill out this questionnaire just to see what your needs and preferences are when it comes to your mental health and your therapist. Then they are going to match you with a therapist, like a custom fit therapist for you. And I was matched with my therapist under 24 hours. So I was like really impressed with that. And y'all, she was okay. I was like, oh my God. I never had one of these before. Oh my God. So I was really excited about that. Once you are matched with a therapist, you can then choose whatever form of communication is most comfortable for you, whether that be video call, text, or phone call. You can message your therapist at any time. You can also schedule live sessions based on your availability, flexibility, your schedule. And for any reason, if your therapist is not a good fit, you can change your therapist free of charge. With BetterHelp, you get the same professionalism and quality that you would expect in office, except for it's at a more affordable price. Get 10% off your first month at BetterHelp. That's betterhelp.com/Jaelah. And I also linked it down in the description box for you guys. Oh, also, I got matched with my therapist on Monday and her next available appointment was for Wednesday. And I was like, okay, what? Ain't no 6-month wait. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, what? You know, you call up a therapy office and it's based on like next available. They're like, yeah, we don't have it. Like, girl, I need to talk to somebody right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, what am I supposed to do right now? I am no stranger to therapy. I think that all the girls need therapy. I think everybody needs therapy. I love therapy, okay? And my first therapist, I love her. She was literally like such a quirk. I loved her so much. She helped me discover that I had ADHD and me and her were good, right? The second therapist I had, baby, let me tell you, the second therapist I had, when I first met her and we was introducing ourselves, you know, a little icebreaker or whatever, you know, and I'm like, how are you doing today? She was like, oh, my shins hurt. I'm like, your shin? She was like, yeah, that 15-mile run this morning. You ran 15 miles this morning. Is that what you telling me? Man, you telling me, ma'am, hold on. Excuse me, ma'am, you telling me you ran 15 miles this morning? Oh, yeah, yeah, She's like, so how are you doing today? Oh, everything is great. Everything's great. How are you, actually? Let's talk about you. You know, how are you? Like, I could not be vulnerable with that therapist whatsoever. Like, I just knew that, like, baby girl, you ain't gonna understand none of that I got going on, baby. I ain't even gonna sit up here and try. And so I just lied to her and I wasted my time, wasted her time, wasted all them insurance people money, and I just lied. So it is so important to have a therapist that you can like relate to, because when you can't relate to them, you will lie to them, okay? If you're like me. Jaelah's prayer, part 1. Let me get cozy so I can give y'all the backstory. So, okay, I grew up in a 2-parent household. I had my mom and my dad. I was in a relationship, like long-term relationships, for pretty much like my whole life, right? When I was in middle school, I was in a relationship. When I was in high school, I was in a relationship. Right after I got out of high school, I joined the military. I got married at 19. I was just in like a silly, goofy, funny mood. Like, I'm just like, whatever. Like, we're just doing stuff. It's like, all right, cool. Yeah, you, come on. Come on. You know what I'm saying? Come on. I guess, let's go. During that relationship, I mimicked a lot of things that I saw growing up, and that just was normal to me. You know what I mean? Like, I never saw my dad like open the door for my mom, or like I never saw, like, I saw a lot of apology gifts. You know, I thought you were supposed to scrap it out. I thought y'all supposed to fight, argue, you know what I'm saying, then love each other again. Like, that's kind of that up and down, that very like hot and cold. That's what I saw. So like, that's what I mimicked. You know what I'm saying? So once I got out of that relationship, I specifically remember feeling like very drained. Separated when I was 25. That was a mess, child. And it was back to the streets. I never been on the streets. I was like, wow, it's a little cold. You know, like, this unfamiliar. I'm single. This is my first time living by myself. Like, what? You know, I thoroughly enjoy living by myself. Like, I didn't know how much joy I would find in like being by myself. But being by myself was something that I had to kind of get used to. It was very uncomfortable, especially when you are so used to like constantly pouring into other people. When you gotta switch that and like pour it into yourself, it's like just so foreign. So boom, back to the streets. I start my healing journey, my self-love journey, which was it was interesting. I went through all the phases. Like I went through every phase you could think of. I went through. You know, I had went through like this, like, oh my God, I'm a lover girl. I'm a healer girl. Come to me, I'm gonna heal you. Baby, I was not healing them, man. I was traumatizing them. For sure. At that stage, that like self-love, when you first get out of the relationship, everything is pretty like, I think you just kind of like, what's the word? I'm not gonna say coasting, but like you're just kind of like, you stay like up here so you don't have to like face what's like down here, you know what I'm saying? Because like, wow, I just got out of this really long relationship and like I'm actually kind of messed up a little bit, but like we still good, like good, you know what I'm saying? And so I went through, oh my God, I just want genuine love, so it doesn't matter what he has, and you know, this doesn't matter and that doesn't matter. Like I didn't really have any standards, so I call this like phase of my life, like that chapter of my life I was in, I call that desperate and delusional, because that's where I was operating out. I was operating out of desperation. I was operating out of delusion. And when I say desperate, I don't mean that in like a offensive way. I just mean like you have a dire need for something or somebody, right? That's what I mean by like desperation. So I was looking for all of these things that I needed, but I was looking for them like externally. Essentially, I was like chasing everything that I needed instead of looking for it inside of myself. So basically all these situationships that I ended up in, the only thing they had to offer me was a mirror. And in that mirror, I saw, you know, the things that I really, really liked about myself and like things that I could connect with people about, you know, like creativity and conversation and certain mindsets. But all of the guys that I dated had a very common denominator. They would do something that would remind me of my dad and it would trigger me. And I would be like, ew. At that stage of my life, I'm kind of keeping these men around because like I am like literally just looking for a distraction, because it's way easier to pick him apart than it is to pick me apart. Like I don't want to pick me apart. So I just, you know what I'm saying, basically like bully these men. Like sorry, not sorry. You guys, I mean, they got to experience me. You know what I'm saying? A win is a win. Like a win is a win. These men, I would never even look at this day and age. I would never even look at them. So a win is a win. At least you guys to experience me, babes, because not ever again in this lifetime. Okay. And I'm just like, why am I constantly triggered? Because these men are reminding me of my dad. That's when I realized I had a really, really deep like father wound. It's like, damn, I think I got daddy issues. I promise you, anything that you feel like your ex didn't damage you, like any issues that you might have, like you have to look like way deeper. Like you gonna uncover some really, really deep rooted traumas when it comes to like whenever you start to like really look at yourself and really like assess and dig deep, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not just your ex. Like them people, they don't have that much power over you, you know what I'm saying? Like these things are like deep rooted, like from childhood patterns, karmic cycles. This is not just somebody that you just met 5 years ago and y'all was high school sweethearts and you think that they just damaged you, messed you up forever. Like, no, baby, like it's deeper than that. Like I'm telling you, like those people don't have that much power over you. I really realized that I had like this really, really deep like father wound. I began to, I guess, work through that, right? And just when I thought I had got deep, it got deeper. It just kept getting deeper and deeper and deeper. So I remember one time I got home from the club and this guy that I had been kind of dealing with off and on, not ever really seriously, he texts me, you know, he like, oh, you know, what's up? Like pull up on you. Da, da, da. I'm like, oh, I'm in the bed, but text me if you need me. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, what do you mean text me if you need me? Like, what does that mean, Jaelah? Like, what does text me if you need me mean, Jaelah? Like, what does that mean? that means that I learned to love by being used. And that's why I always felt so empty at the end of my relationship, is because that's how I learned to love, through my father. My definition of love with him, the way we showed love to each other, was basically by me being his support, me being there for him needing a shoulder to cry on, him needing information, him needing validation, him needing anything that my father needed. I was always there I used to be a daddy's girl. I mean, like, what? That man could do no wrong. And I just constantly was allowing myself to be used. And I'm like, girl, you are not a condom. Get a grip. What? It wasn't until that moment I sent that text and I was like, that's strange. Why would you say that? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you say that? That's when I realized that, like, I had this, like, definition of love that wasn't specific to me. It was just what I had learned. It wasn't based on me though, it was based on someone else. So here I am operating, you know, based on this definition of love, that's how I learned to love. So I'm operating based on that. And then I'm wondering why I'm hitting all these roadblocks. And it's like, because it's deeper than that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to dig deeper. You might uncover some stuff that you really didn't want to uncover. You might wake up some stuff that you be like, wait, I didn't expect for that to be all of that. Like, and nothing's gonna ever prepare you for that. But I promise you that, like, every time you meet somebody, you got to pay attention to the patterns, right? Because I'm like, what's the common denominator here? Like, all of these relationships were extremely superficial, extremely surface level. I was in my, like, very surface level, like, healing stage, where self-love meant doing my hair and putting on a cute outfit and doing my makeup and, you know what I'm saying, taking some cute pictures and maybe taking a bubble bath or two. Like, that's what my definition of, like, self-love was. But I really didn't know who I was outside of my ego. Like, I knew who I wanted people to see me as. I knew who I wanted to be on the outside, but I didn't really know who I was on the inside. And that reflected on the relationships that I was having. So I just want to say, babes, if the dating pool is pissy, it's because you are the piss, babes. I'm sorry that you had to hear that here first. Sorry. It's okay though. We're gonna fix it. We can come back from that. Yeah, so basically, every time you go looking for something in somebody else, it's always going to lead you back to you, because it really does start with us. Like, it starts with you. I was having poor dating experiences because my standards were low. And my standards were low is because I was operating out of a place of desperation. Think about what people do when they're desperate for things. When you're desperate for things, you're not thinking the right mindset. So when you're desperate, that has you kind of like picking any and everything. You are just gonna snatch whatever you can get because you just need something. Everybody needs different things because we all have different wounds, right? And so basically, like, for me, I wanted intimacy. I wanted to feel close. I wanted to feel like protected. That's what I wanted. And so next lucky person to walk by, like, yep, okay, come on. And then I would operate in a state of delusion where I would make these people be everything that I needed to be instead of realizing like who they actually were. Like, I was like convincing myself that they were this everything that I needed, and I was falling in love in 2 business days, and, you know, imagining my whole life with somebody that I like didn't even know. It's like ultimate like delusion, babe. It's raining outside. So desperation will have you accepting anything, and then delusion will have you believing everything. The next chapter is called like grounding myself. Like, this is after I realized that I was just like heavy in the streets, doing too much in the mix, don't belong in the mix, green, naive, don't know what the hell I'm doing, asking my homegirls for advice. They don't know what the hell they doing. It's the blind leading the blind. It's bad. You know what I'm saying? I felt like I had pieces of me like all over the place, and I was back feeling that same emptiness that I felt. But at the same time, I felt like I was giving so much, but like I still felt like very empty. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was not getting anything in return. It was because like I hadn't nurtured my soul to be able to receive the love that I give. Okay, so here I am, big lover girl, heart made of gold or dust, depending on who you're talking to. And I'm just have this ability to just pour love into other people, but like I didn't have that ability to pour love into myself. I didn't know how to do that. It was very uncomfortable for me because me being taught to love like by being used, I was always taught to consider someone else first, regard someone else first, put someone else first. So putting myself first felt very foreign to me. It felt very strange. It was uncomfortable. It was almost unnatural. And so I didn't really know how to do that. You know, it takes practice, especially when you have like that people pleasing thing. It takes like a lot of practice to be able to take the love that you give to someone else and give it to yourself and actually be able to receive it. And it's so crazy because we be ready to dig up people's deepest, darkest wounds and patch them up while we ignore our own. And it's like, do you really love yourself? Like, how you love that person like more than you love yourself? Like how do you do that for them if you ain't did that for you? Like, you know what I'm saying? You say you a healer, girl, then heal. You know what I'm saying? You can heal everybody in here, but you can't heal you. Everybody in here know how to receive love except for you. Why you think you can't receive love? Because you don't feel that you're worthy of it. It's crazy. It's insane. So I remember I was dealing with this guy and I really had no business like dealing with him, right? Like, but I would leave out of my apartment and I started noticing like notes accumulating on one of my neighbor's doors. And me and him were dealing with each other. We're dealing with each other. I knew I shouldn't have been dealing with him. I called the leasing office and I'm like, hey, all of these notes on the door of my neighbor, you know, like, is everything okay? You know what I'm saying? I watch too much investigation discovery. I'm like, are they okay? You know, like, okay, we're gonna check and we're gonna get back to you. Y'all, my neighbor has been like this for like months. And I don't know if I should check on them or if I should touch and look and see what the notices say, because that's giving fingerprints. But like, do y'all think I should call the rental office or the police or something? It's been like that for fucking months. Like, I hope them people ain't in there. And then so, I love nature. Anyway, they're like, yeah, we'll check it out. So this is the same day that I stopped dealing with this man. I said I was not dealing with him. I was not talking to him. I said absolutely not, right? The leasing office called me back. Yeah, they just on deployment. Don't worry about it. We took all the notes off their door. I'm like, okay, cool. I walk down the hallway. The door is clear, right? Me and this man go 2 weeks with no contact, okay? The door stays clear for 2 weeks, right? He called me one night. I answer. I spent the block. Rule number 1, never spin the block. Y'all hear me? I don't know if y'all hear me. Rule number 1, never spin the block. Okay? That's rule number 1. Like, that's law. I spent the block. That next morning, I left my apartment. Y'all, why was those same 3 notes in the same spot back on my neighbor's door? The same 3 notes. I'm like, bro, I know I like jumped timelines. I know I went backwards. I know I delayed myself. I know I went backwards. Like, I knew it. I knew I went backwards. Like, there was just no way that I didn't, because how are these notes back on this people? Like, and I felt it. Like, that was like the clearest message that I had like ever got from the universe. And I was like, wow, okay. I get it. Okay, little tap on the wrist, you know what I'm saying? Cool. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I got it. In order for you to fully get out of desperation mode, survival mode, you have to stop dealing with everybody that doesn't serve a purpose. This means, like, I don't care if you got somebody that you just, oh, he just my guy that I could talk to, or he just get food for me, or that's just my sneaky link, like that baby daddy that you keeping around because he pay your bills from time to time or whatever. Like, when you are operating in that lack mindset, you are basically like, you know, you don't really believe that you're worthy of more because you hanging on to this little bit that you got. You know what I'm saying? As soon as you let the little bit go, then, you know, you get everything that you need. And then a little thing that you'll be needing from somebody be something that be so simple for you to give to yourself. Like, take yourself out on a date. Buy yourself flowers. Enjoy your own company. You know what I'm saying? Grab a wine, go to work. That was me learning, like, I don't need anything externally from anybody. Because every time you go searching for something externally, it's going to lead you right back to yourself. So, yeah, like, anybody that didn't serve a purpose had to go. I mean, I meant business about that. I cut off everybody that didn't serve a purpose in my life. I mean, like, you know how you just be, like, messing with people because you just be bored? Yeah, I'm talking to you. Stop doing that. Don't be messing with people just because you bored. Like, that is the complete, like, that's the opposite of just like dating intentionally. Like, there's nothing casual about knowing you. There's nothing casual about dating you. There's like nothing casual. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything is very intentional. I had to gracefully exit everybody's lives. I mean, like, I stopped dating out of desperation. I just stopped accepting any and everything because I had to tap into me. I had to learn myself and learn what I like. And I only had to sit with myself. I had nobody else to distract me. You start to enjoy your own company, and all of those things that you were looking for, like externally, like you start to discover them within yourself. You actually define your standards. You actually define your boundaries, what you like, what you don't like, based on yourself, not anything or anybody else, like based on yourself, you know, based on the knowledge of yourself. So if you know that cheating is I cannot go back from that because loyalty is like top on my list because I'm a very loyal person, then you know that loyalty, you know that is a non-negotiable for you. Like, I didn't really have like a set, like, it's like, what is yours? You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to really sit down and be like, okay, like, what's mine? Like, what is specific to me? Like, what is mine? Like, do I have my own routine? Do I have my own habits? Do I have my own hobbies? Do I have my own standards, like, for myself? Like, do I have my own set of boundaries? Not boundaries that you place with people, but like boundaries that you have for yourself, you know? So for me, casual sex, absolutely not. Strong boundary, absolutely not. Do not call my phone late at night, absolutely not. I also don't give my number out to just any and everybody, absolutely not. Those are like boundaries for me, like to protect myself, you know, from being in a situation that I might not want to be in. Like, I might not be regarding myself in the highest manner if I found myself in that situation, you know? Real genuine self-love, real genuine self-respect. Because basically, like, the way you carry yourself is how people are gonna carry you. The way you regard yourself is how people are gonna regard you. The way you love yourself is how people are gonna love you. The way you respect yourself is how people are gonna respect you. What do you have? What do you have for yourself, you know? And then you become so wrapped up in that routine, you become so engulfed in yourself, baby, you forget about anybody else that's out there, right? You like, wow, I enjoy my own company. I enjoy doing these things for myself. You build these like these boundaries, and boundaries are hard for people that have like the people pleasing thing, because again, they feel very unnatural. Also, like regarding other people, regarding yourself the same way you regard other people, that's also very uncomfortable to learn how to do. And the same with like loving other people, like the same way you love, because like the first time you experience like your own love, you just be like, wow, wait, that felt good, you know what I mean? Like, and then you just want to keep doing it. You just keep pouring into your space, and you keep pouring into yourself, and like just everything around you. And what you are on the inside is what you attract on the outside. Basically, you get into this mode where like you realize that everybody doesn't deserve to know you. Everybody doesn't deserve to be around you. Everybody doesn't deserve to be inside you. Everybody doesn't deserve to be in your home. Everybody doesn't deserve to experience you, because you are allowed to be picky. You are allowed to be choosy. You are allowed to be particular. You are allowed to be selective, because you're not desperate and you're not delusional. So you're very clear about what you want, and you're not going to settle for anything less than what that is. Only is it at that point where you truly believe, based off of your actions and like deep down inside of you, that you are worthy of the same love that you give. Because I knew that love existed. I'm like, I cannot be the only one that has this type of love, but I had to give it to myself first in order to receive it. So yeah, no more living out of desperation, no more living in delusion. And you can apply that to literally like every aspect of your life, and you will see dramatic change. Everybody has their own journey, you know what I'm saying? I'm really not here to judge anybody. I'm just here to be the homegirl that I wish that I had when I was going through this stuff, because it was a very like vulnerable state for me. Almost like, I'm not gonna say embarrassing, but like, I'm 26 years old, never been on a date, you know what I mean? Like, didn't know how to date, didn't know how to date. And so in part 2, we'll go over how to date, how I learned to date, situationships, relationships, standards, boundaries. So we'll go over all the juicy bits and pieces. But first, we had to get like, this is like ground zero right here. If you don't got this, you ain't got nothing, babes. Because without this, without us, it starts with us, okay? We are the answer. Like, men are not the answer, okay? They're not the answer. I absolutely love chatting and talking with y'all about stuff like this, so I cannot wait. Part 2, we're going to do it live, so y'all bring all y'all questions. You know what I'm saying? Get your snacks, your extracurriculars, whatever you need. And we're gonna have a great time. We're gonna talk about the tea, the juice, like, okay, like I do way better live. So I hope to see y'all there. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope y'all learned something, and leave me a comment down below. And I love you guys. See you on. Peace out.